Good evening. Welcome to the Roxy Files. Hello, Governor. Is my governor awake over there? She's on mute, y'all.
Oops, I thought I pressed the button, but I guess I didn't. Hello, Governor.
Hello, Governor. Shannon's trying to eat dinner, everybody. Her dinner just arrived. So she may be on mute while she's chewing. Hope everybody's doing good out there. We got Mike and Biggie in the house already. Got a few others in here. Tonight we are gonna discuss Plur1bus episode 6 for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're 99.9% sure we're gonna move on to the subject at hand. But it does real good on the algorithm if we start with Plur1bus, guys. So good evening, Kent. How are you today, Shannon? How's the weather on the West Coast?
It's been pretty mild. I haven't really been much outside today, though. Yesterday was chilly, but still kind of sunny. I don't know.
I think we started our day out here in Myrtle Beach at about 20 degrees.
Oh, that was
It
chilly.
hadn't, yeah, it got chilly, and now they're calling for snow again this weekend because, you know, daughter's already been put on standby activation for winter weather this weekend. And of course, it's her weekend off, but I've had
Oh,
a nice day otherwise.
that's good.
I hope everybody out there still, nobody is without power, and that power is being restored in those places that it was knocked out. And we pray for warmth and food to be delivered and everybody's health and safety out in that storm. Maybe
Amen,
that'll pass quickly.
amen to that.
All right, Plur1bus season 1, episode 6. Well, Shannon, in this episode, she has made her way through a series of clues off of all these milk containers that she finds to a milk plant where she finds cold storage. And what does she find in cold storage, Shannon?
She finds body parts of human beings.
And they are grinding said body parts down to consume. They cannot kill. They can't even pick an apple off of a tree. So they are having to use what is already dead for their sustenance. So Carol freaks out and we end up in Vegas because she wants to talk to the other guy, the one what is his name?
Oh,
Gosh.
it starts with an M, I think, or maybe that's the other guy I'm thinking of. I don't know. I can't remember all their names.
I know there's of the 13 it's hard. So but anyway, he's the one that's riding around on Air Force 1, and he thinks he is the pimp. And that photo that you see, let's see, this episode is called HDP. Carol shares Mr. Diabate is his name, lives his life to the fullest in Sin City because um he gets these people to be central casting. Here we go. Let's see. Let me see if I can pull up. I know it's not gonna let me watch it. Oh, it's gonna try to make me log into Netflix. When Carol gets to Vegas, she walks in and he's got, all of these people in the hive or whatever you want to call them around him. They're all dressed up and it looks just like a fancy luxury night at a casino in Vegas. They're all playing a part like central casting, whatever he wants them to be. The women adore him. They'll go back to the room with him, whatever, just to satisfy him whatever he wants. And as soon as he walks out the room, they just kind of turn like robots and clean up and go on back to whatever they were doing.
Which is really eerie. It's just so silent and mechanical about it.
Yes, it's very mechanical. It's like they don't have I don't know, John Cena is even in this episode trying to explain to Carol why they're drinking people.
Okay. So like right, he just played out this whole thing with the hive mind people pretending to be a baller, winning a game, right? He's doing his thing in the tub trying to get have his time, but then they all of a sudden have to just bolt and leave and just like the empties out the whole city just so Carol can come and visit,
because they're
which already
terrified of
makes
her
some sense.
having a meltdown.
Exactly. Well, especially knowing, more than likely what she's there for. But it's like he's already prepared. Like he already knows what she's about to say. It's like, yeah, they already told me. And gives her, like, here's the video they made. Check it out. And it's like, oh, wow.
And
Like
it's
you're
just
at
like this
school information.
calm
Right.
anesthesia version of like, yes, this is what we're doing. We don't have any other option to get our sustenance. So we take the dead people and grind them up and turn them into milk. It's just weird. That whole episode is really weird the way they show the hive turning their self on and off. Well, Miss K, hang out with us, and you may have the opportunity to do that right here soon. We're going to talk about that. Um,
So I wanted to mention something because
mhm.
I was going to tell you this before we got on, but we are like, we got to get on. So,
Yeah, Shannon and I were sitting here talking a while ago. So while we were a couple of minutes late, we are like, "Oh God, we got to shut up."
so this product, I guess, if you could call it that, that's what they're advertising it as, which is called a bodyoid. It's called a bodyoid. Remember that name. It is basically a body, like a flesh suit, like a human body, but it can't feel pain or have a consciousness, they say. But it's going to be used for medical purposes and things along those lines, and spare human body parts to eat. And it's like, wow, I just read about this today. And I was like, this is so ironic because of the episode we're about to talk about today.
And it's amazing how things tend to run together sometimes, don't they?
For real. And I was like, wow, you know, forget growing cow meat in a lab. We're just going to go straight to human body meat to
Well,
use for parts and consume.
I,
Okay.
I've got a guy. Shannon and I were talking about this earlier. There's a guy on TikTok. I started following him some years back. He's like the crazy Russian or something. But he's all the time showing like gadgets that he invents or,
I
like,
totally have that, guys. Subscription. Okay, keep going.
well, sometimes he shares things that are on the news over there. Well, it's not hard to convert something from Russian to English now with all the translation things. And it will be like Putin giving speeches. And I'm telling you something, um, if you'll take the speeches that the little man with the mustache gave years ago, take those recorded speeches from the little man with the mustache and convert them to English, they're a lot different what you thought they were. And if you'll take some of those Russian speeches now and convert them to English, they're a lot different what you thought they were. Yeah, hang on. Go ahead, Shannon. I got to mute off a second. We got an appliance problem at the house. Hang on.
Oh, of course, as I stuff my mouth or something. I'm like, hi, guys. Sorry about that. It's interesting because, yes, the translation of things, back in the day, they didn't have Google Translate, and, it wasn't so easy for us to do that. And, the news will give you their translation. Who knows how accurate it is? But they never really fully go into the full on speech translated in school. Like, no one ever has really unless, of course, maybe you've gone and taken you know, major classes for that. Like that's your major, studying that stuff. Maybe you have heard of them, but hearing all of it translated is interesting. And they all tend to seem to say a lot of similar rhetoric, which I find very interesting. It's like a playbook on how to get people to think some things. That's just how I feel, but.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of those speeches and by foreign leaders that you've never listened to before, it's not that hard to translate them now. So if you like digging into history, go back and get the story from the horse's mouth. Because always remember, history was written by the winner. You never heard the loser's side of the story. Doesn't matter whose fight it is, husband, wife, two countries, whatever. There's two sides to every story, and the truth normally lays somewhere in the middle. So make sure you got both sides of the story. Sorry about that interruption, guys. My washing machine just died. Yay, me.
No.
Yay, me.
Time to go find some of those old school ones from the 70s and
This
80s,
is a
girl.
70s Kenmore, and my daughter just came in and she's like,
Oh,
Mom, it filled up with water, and it's just going click, 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 click. And I'm like, just unplug it.
no.
I'll deal with it when I get off the air. But anyway, back to where we were. Um, we've probably got 100 rabbit holes we could discuss. A lot of them all lead back to the same points on a map, which is something that I found today. Have you had a chance to look at the map yet, Shannon?
Not really.
This is a
I
very unique map I ran across. Um,
I will have it on my person though and look while we talk.
uh, where did I save it? That's the next question. I saved it earlier, guys, so I could pull it up, and then I had to reboot. Let's see, downloads. Here we go. I got it. I saved this map earlier. Let's do a presentation. Share screen. This was published. Some of you may have or may have never seen this map. I'd seen it before, and I don't even know where I saw it. It was somewhere you could buy a printed copy of it. But this is called the Map of the Great Awakening. And there's a lot of information on this thing, as you can see. Well, when anything out in the world, you don't know whether to take it seriously, what of it is, or what of it isn't. So I just started looking around for, there's a lot of stuff on here we've talked about, a lot of stuff on here a lot of us have researched. Because like we get down to, well, of course, we know we've all talked about Antarctica and the pyramids and like the breakaway groups, underground bases. And I can't say too many of these words out loud because a lot of these words are words that are on the lexicon.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go around and you look at it, as you can see, there's words right here that we talk about all the time: the Book of
Mm-hmm.
Enoch, Elohim, sound healing, organic non GMO food. But this is supposed to basically be some kind of map. Um, if you notice over here, this is the whole.
David Wilcock. Oh wow. That's a name I haven't heard from, again, so my background a little bit, I've mentioned before, I used to be really into the whole new age stuff. And David Wilcock was, pretty high up on the chain in the speakers and gurus, I guess you want to call them, for this movement. And he believed he was the reincarnation of Edgar Casey, which I don't know if any of you know who that character is in history. But, all of this stuff with him and Bashar, the channeling stuff and the
Uh,
5D Earth, all of that is straight out of the New Age Gaia All of that. That's
Well, yeah,
very
see, there's this thing has all kinds of pieces of different
interesting.
puzzles on it.
Kundalini awakening, more channelings.
Well, and over here you've got it says sealed indictments, save the children, and it's
What?
got all this stuff over here.
What is this year? The years 1981 and 1984, like through. It's the year I
Where?
was born and the year my husband was born. That is so weird. Right under rat to tier or rat tier ratty rat raw tier ear.
Are you on my screen or your screen? That's the
I'm
next
on my
question.
screen. I'm like looking at it because I can't see on your screen very well since I am blind as a bat. I'm on my phone, like looking at it, as big as
Well,
I can.
see, it tells you at the bottom, the Great Awakening, optimal timeline reality, full disclosure. And down here at the very bottom, and I'm going to zoom in, it says escape the matrix, fake news media, false flags, 9/1 and another one. We're not going to say that out loud. Fed Reserve, big banks, big pharma, the pokey sticks, GMOs, fluoride, chemtrail. And then that looks like Owen Towers. What is Owen Towers?
It's Gwen Towers. I don't know what
Oh,
Towers is, but it's
well,
Gwen.
well, evidently it's something we should be looking up. So do let us go see what that is, everybody. Oh, those would be the ground wave emergency network.
Oh yeah,
Cell phone
Mhm,
towers.
totally.
FEMA, Fukushima, Hollywood occult, educational and doctrine, taxes, globalism, the new, and there's order in a world goes in the middle. Smart meters, RFID, 5G, oil, war on drugs, EMF, crisis actor, open borders, maritime law, and SSN. Now, this thing was put out in 2018. And there's so much on here that when I was looking at it, I just started picking out things that I had never heard of. Like there's a couple of bases on here that I went and looked at,
Hmm.
just different things. I just thought this was unique, guys. If you wanted something to go look at or investigate, because there's all kind of stuff on here that I've never, and it's got arrows and circles and diagrams on it. There's a lot of stuff on here.
A lot.
We'll see right here, this part, pre-Adamites, the elongated skull giants. We know that we've seen actual bones of these, whatever they are, that have really elongated skulls. And, oh, let me
Oh,
stop.
the Galactic Federation. There it is.
Yeah, it's got all kind of stuff on
Mm,
here.
mm. Oh my gosh. This is like flashbacks
Yeah, it's got all kind of stuff.
for
There
me.
is a, I think tonight, y'all, we are just kind of down the mini rabbit holes of what we're looking into, because there's another thing I come across today, which is a U.S. patent, which was extremely interesting.
Oh, do tell.
It was U.S. patent 2022/0002159A1. And that, hang on, let me get to the screen. And I'll show everybody how we do a patent search if you're ever curious. This is how you do a patent search. Dun, 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 dun. Let me upsize this so everybody can see. On the USPTO.gov, that's the U.S. taxpayer patent, whatever office. You go here. You can go to search. You can do a basic search, advanced search. You can put in words. I just happen to know what the number of this one is.
race? What?
All right, come on.
I'm still looking at some of these things like age of the golden race. What? Of the golden race? Like
Mm-hmm.
what is that? What is that? I know
Well,
what the golden age is, but the golden race, that's like
all
sounding
right.
interesting.
This patent is for 3D reduced graphene oxide composite for ice nucleation. I'm not a
Oh.
scientist, but I read quite a bit on this today.
Mm-hmm.
And this gives you the diagrams of how it works, the temperature structure, how it has to be frozen, what it looks like up under a microscope when it forms the said ice. All the clinical data of how it happens, what they mix it with, and how they administer this. They take graphene oxide and aerogel and freeze it at like incredibly low temperatures, and then they can use it in clouds to create snow with graphene oxide.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
See how they're just trying to literally sprinkle that stuff everywhere. And it's interesting, the T man said something, to the public the other day about, the CV being like dust.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everywhere, spread out everywhere like dust. I found that to be very interesting.
Well, see how I come across this patent was this was not even what I was looking for. The rabbit hole I was down was that I had found out that they have tested, and this has not been in this decade or the prior, 20 years. This is old stuff. They had tested a way to spray certain things above our heads to reduce rabies in wildlife population.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Huh. Like Lyme
Mhm.
disease with
Yeah.
ticks. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep. Just FYI, everybody, you might want to go look into what we're actually seeing up there in those nice little white stripy lines.
I
You
feel
know.
like I feel like we're, the female version of Tim the Tool Man with our yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Might want to go look at that. Well, I mean, good Lord, you can't say too much out loud because the next thing you know, we're pushed to the bottom of some list. Not like we're not already on 12 lists somewhere and somebody's looking at us, but I mean, trying to limit our exposure here.
Yep. Uh,
We don't have the safest occupation in the world of what we're doing
mhm.
here.
That is the truth.
We are loud. I mean, we don't tend to be real quiet, Shannon.
Boy, hey, I'm just letting you guys all know that more and more people are getting questioned by people in, uniforms about, social media posts here in America. So
Yep.
just keep your eyes out.
Watch your etymology and your lexicon of
Yes.
words you're using if you post.
Wow. Yes. Again, so much for that free speech thing.
Where
Yep.
did I ever think in all of that public education that I would come up with a sentence where I had to use lexicon and etymology in the same sentence? Because they didn't even teach us etymology, y'all.
No, I
No.
shouldn't.
All right. Well, this is another guy, and I'm gonna tell y'all before I show you this guy. If you're sensitive to language, he may not be the one for you. But this guy's name is Joe Fales. I don't know if anybody's seen him or not. I've been watching him for a while, and he basically bailed out from here. He was sick of the same crap that we are. Evidently, he was kind of like Cat Williams, from what I'm gathering, grew up in a religious family. His family was missionaries. So he spent a good portion of his life reading the Bible.
Mhm.
And so he's one of these that has been on the quest to try to find the oldest versions of the Bible available and get them scanned in for everybody to see.
Mhm.
I was looking at some of his shorts here. I don't think I got sound on because every once in a while he'll get a little potty mouth on him. This thing you're looking at right here in the center of the screen, that's a rock that's been carved.
Okay.
When you put the other rock on it, it lights up. There's no wires attached to it anywhere. It's pulling whatever energy source it creates that light with right there from within the rock.
Where did
And
he
with
get it?
when he bailed out on being here because of the way this country is run and everything we see. Hang on, I'm
Mhm.
trying to find it. He actually had a video on here showing they're in Costa Rica. And this is the thing, him and his girlfriend, they're vlogging the whole time about life over there, how much it is different, how much time seems to work differently as far as the value of your day. Well, as he's gotten over there and he's gotten to know the locals or whatever, he's interested in history. Well, where you're looking at right here, this is where these people were fixing to dig a basement and build a house on top of it. And they have found this tunnel and artifacts. There's nobody over there collecting these artifacts to study. Like the locals have them sitting up in their living room and in their yard as ornaments. Like a concrete statue you'd buy at Home Depot. No joke. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a couple of his shorts on here and on his YouTube where he's like having a meltdown. He's like, somebody's got to get over here. He's like, because these people are doing something so wrong. He said, this is such a desecration of whatever this is. And there's one video where where they're sitting there digging this stuff up. I think the first day he goes, he's like, oh my, look at what I've stumbled on. You know what I mean? And he's all interested in it. And then he figures out shortly thereafter that this ain't right. These people are just putting this stuff in their yard. They don't have any idea what they're messing with. This stuff could be evil. Because he's like us. He's awake. He understands that some things you shouldn't be touching. But let me see if I can, y'all.
I hear sound.
And that's because it's playing through the other screen.
I am here on an archaeological dig. He has the imaging report.
I don't know if you guys can hear the sound on it or not, but here's where he's talking about that it's
right there. This looks
that
to be a giant megalith. Like it keeps going on for a long time. You can definitely see carvings in it. Carvings appearing in it, but I can't tell if it's dirt or rock.
But you see this, there's no like archaeological
really
anything.
This
is just
really
people
soft.
digging
This
stuff
looks
up.
like it could be part of a pathway.
And after a couple of days, he just starts sitting by the hole and starts praying. You see what I'm saying? There's no scientific anything to this.
It's pointing directly there. The tunnel to the city. I'm very curious. Looks like
it's tunnels to underground cities.
Where this is going on. Anubis creating life. Also where it's coming from.
That is a swastika and a Star of David blended together on the third eye.
Look at the stuff they're pulling out of this artifact.
So anybody who does DMT repeatedly, they recognize that type of artwork.
That's a woman. There's a third eye on it. There's a third eye on almost all of them. Whoa, hey Alex, what do you make of a swastika third eye?
That's a swastika and a Star of David.
Yeah, that's an evil motherfucker.
Dude, that's the Nazis and the Jews blended together. Fucking wild. But that is a swastika and a Star of David blended together on the third eye of a 45,000-year-old artifact that's going to sacrifice somebody. That's a woman. What is he? Looks like a fish. That's a serpent. It's well known.
But you see all this stuff around him?
Satchels on all the ancient artifacts.
Look at those skulls down there. This is stuff they're pulling out of the ground over there. Like they're using them like coffee table ornamentation.
Anybody who knows a history book knows those two signs, and it just boggles the mind.
It's like a prediction.
And he actually bumps into one of those things. See him right here in the bed? He actually bumped into one of them, and it falls off the table, and it broke. And his girlfriend tells you he stayed in the bed sick for like 48 hours. Couldn't function. Lost consciousness.
They need to get
That
that
looks like a
out.
fuck. It probably
Yeah,
is
look at
both.
some of
These
this
artifacts
stuff.
here are super
Well,
high.
see, when he got over there, from what I gather, he basically, he went over there, got to meet the locals. Nobody spoke English. So he's over there, and they're like, oh, yeah, look at some of this stuff we found, digging. And he's like, oh, yeah, because he's like us. He's a nerd. He wants to, he's smart. He's awake. He wants to see what it is. And then he starts realizing it's all this stuff with elongated skulls. And when you're looking at these rocks, those carving things, it's one solid rock. There's carvings all over it of the all-seeing eye and the triangle and the swastikas and stuff. But you take one rock and put on another rock and it lights up. Well, as they got to looking, somehow inside of this solid rock are like microscopic copper wires that conduct electricity that it's pulling out of the air around it.
Wow.
And this stuff is being dug up from under the ground, and it's thousands of years old. There's videos where he's like, can somebody please get Graham Hancock, anybody, somebody to come look at this stuff? They're destroying it. There's like whole sarcophaguses sitting in people's garage over there.
Wow. See, this just goes right back in line with all these data centers and things like that being so much more ancient than we've been told. There's nothing new under the sun.
Well, I'm pretty sure when he first went over there, he's like us. He went over there and he decided he was done with all of this junk we deal with. And his whole vlog series, a lot of it was going to be based off just kind of going over there. And it's like he's wanting to set up a place where you could put in like $5,000 and go over there and live in a casita in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Like live off the land. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that was the whole thing. Him and his girlfriend were vlogging this, and they were setting up applications so people could come over and like intern and work and see if this is the kind of lifestyle. And then he stumbles upon all this stuff in the garage, and it just went sideways from there. Now he's also now he's connected. Have you seen the guy that makes plastiline?
Oh, plastiline? The like Body World dude?
The one that makes gas out of plastic.
Oh, no. Oh, the one who got is missing?
Went missing.
Yeah. I was going to say things I wasn't supposed to, but yeah, went missing.
Yeah, went missing. And evidently this guy, Joe, before he left this country, he was like a software engineer or something. I mean, this isn't no dumb dude that you're dealing with.
Right.
But don't get me wrong, he's out there. And you see he smokes, he tokes, he's tattooed. I mean, but his eyes are open and he's awake and his mind is open. And all he does is sit around and study old Bibles and trying to live off the land. But right here, well, I don't have screen share on. Come on.
See, I thought I recognized him from studying old Bibles.
He does.
Yeah.
And one of the old Bibles that somebody has actually got to him, and somebody donated like a museum quality scanner so they could scan it in page by page, and they're working on that. But don't get me wrong, they're also trying to build a home over there, and now he's been touring all over the place because of this stuff they're finding. But this guy right
You're not going to attack somebody not with a tap. You go in knowing it's a fight, knowing it's difficult, knowing that there's a risk.
Jab is
When
his
you
name
started,
on
Joe, you
YouTube.
didn't start with fear.
But he's the one that temporarily went missing. He's the one that has figured out how to make gasoline out of plastic.
The signs. Watch this.
Yeah, here's another one of those
Sitting here
things.
for hours trying to figure out how this thing works.
This is definitely a piece of technology.
Why this light is amber orange.
I mean, these people literally have
why
this
there's
sitting on the
eyes
coffee
on it.
tables in their house.
Third eye.
And why there's
Look
the
at all
sun
the
and the moon.
sigils.
Computer chip.
Carved
wire
on
Yeah, they're
eye,
covered
type
in 'em.
figure.
And why there's 7 of everything. 7's a very interesting number.
And watch this.
One thing I've noticed
That
is
right
that
there looks
finicky.
like ball to me.
Light
that
comes
one
on, but
eye
it doesn't want to every
in the
time.
middle.
And I don't know why.
And where's Anubis? He has to.
Please explain this.
See? He's just at a dude's house.
There's nothing in here to make energy. Where is it coming from? We are looking at these don't look normal.
We're not.
There's some crazy stuff that's been found over there.
How big is your God?
But anyway,
This is a concise
if
chart
you haven't
of
seen
all
his
of
channel,
man's
guys, go check it
interaction.
out. It's very interesting. I don't know him. I don't know, other than what I've seen on here, I don't know a great deal about him, but there's some very interesting stuff being pulled out of them holes over there. And he's all about solar. So he was setting up this big solar thing over there. And the next thing you know, there was like 4 Black Hawk helicopters hovering above his casita in Costa Rica.
Interesting.
But yeah, many rabbit holes.
So many. I've been so overloaded in this last couple weeks of stuff, but I am excited because so many puzzle pieces have just been like bam, 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 bam.
Tell me about it.
Okay.
And then you start putting all the pieces together of who is actually related to who and who could be a child of who. And that this person probably had the kid but switched it off and handed it to this one.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't even know that they were that one.
Right.
You need a dang diagram, which is
and
partly what the map is.
And cloned beings too, or something along those lines. Have you ever seen the movie Being John Malkovich?
I think I did back in a long time ago. Haven't watched it in a while.
Really super weird, bizarre movie, but what's weird about it, right, is like there's this society of people who choose somebody and like there's a portal to their literal being and they all like enter into said being when they get to a certain age so they can continue on into that being. And John Malkovich which he plays himself in this film, happens to be that guy with the portal to all of these people hanging out with him. But it turns out it wasn't even John Malkovich that they wanted to live through. They wanted to live through his seed. So the child he makes, whatever, it just gets really bizarre. They enter in to said child. So like this group of said people are hanging out in the consciousness of this new baby. It's a very weird movie.
Well, I ran across something weird today, and I don't know why it caught my attention, but it was,
okay.
Care Bear with the switchblade. She's over here down the website for Freedom of Information junk, and I found out. I'm sorry, guys, but this went sideways with me. In 1937, they were exporting cryogenically frozen pineal glands from penguins to U.S. military bases to study.
Penguins.
Yes. From
pineal
Argentina.
From penguins in Argentina.
Okay, well,
Okay.
let me back this up and give you 6 other puzzle pieces that will go with this.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay.
We're going to start at the big frame around the puzzle of Antarctica.
Okay.
Super cold weather. The little man with the mustache made tunnels. And for anybody out there who's not aware, he did not die in that bunker over there.
Yeah, no way.
He died in Argentina in the 70s after being married and having 2 daughters. Just FYI. He been here the whole time. He died of old age. And they knew it. They've always known it.
Mm-hmm.
It was done in, daylight. But anyway, because he handed over information where he had a base in Antarctica, New Schwabland. And this is when back in the 30s, they started studying pineal glands and that, how to put this, basically that, you know how you've always been told since you were a child that you were really only using, 5 or 10% of your brain, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's about true because if the pineal gland is calcified with chemicals, dirty food, and fluoride, it calcifies it and shuts it down. It works identical to a pine cone when a pine cone is opened or closed. When it is opened, fully opened, non calcified, and you've removed all the chemicals, you awaken into a new spiritual consciousness. They have been studying this since the 30s, folks. And the reason they were studying penguins is because penguins' decision making is much like that of a human as far as taking care of their mate, taking care of their child. And have you seen these kids that can put on a blindfold and still see what's in front of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, same theory. Penguins in Antarctica spend 6 months in daylight and 6 months in dark. But with their pineal gland, because it is magnetic, they can use the ley lines of the earth to navigate in the dark.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So they have been freezing penguin brains and sending them over here since the 30s to study on them. And one of the things they have studied will go back to a U.S. patent we spoke about earlier. That if you have enough of that black goo in you, that they can use one of those Gwen radio towers and talk to you through voice to skull technology, command you and direct you with your pineal gland. I said all that out loud.
Well, just saying, remember Jesse Ventura? He did come out on his show many years ago saying voice to skull technology existed, and that was mainstream TV. So I think you're good on that part.
Anymore, you don't know what you're good on. It depends on what day of the week.
I'm trying, man.
Or how lazy my particular agent that was assigned to me was today. If you're listening to the show tonight, buddy, hey, I hope you're having a good evening. Just saying. I mean, I'll be nice to everybody. But yeah, they've been studying the pineal gland since the 30s. And let's see. Let's just ask this question. When was fluoride added to water? January 25th, 1945.
Mm-hmm.
13 years later. They did water fluoridization for dental health through studies in the early 20th century linking naturally occurring fluoride to fewer cavities.
Which is
My Care Bear's butt.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There are studies that have refuted that many
yeah.
times over since then. So, and yet they're still using it. Just saying. Mm-hmm.
Well, they knew in the 30s what it was doing, and this is part of what those puzzle pieces go together. Venezuela is the closest jumping off part to Antarctica. Look at the U.S.'s relationship with Venezuela. That stuff moved in and out of Buenos Aires airport, went to New York. I got the shipping manifest from 1937 showing that that's what was shipped. It was shipped as part of a zoology type study, supposedly. I know what bases it was sent to, some things of those natures. We don't go all into that because it'll we don't get in that kind of trouble tonight. But yeah, they got this information from the little man with the mustache because supposedly, so the theory is that he was already in possession of this information of the pineal gland and things of that nature. And so one of the reasons he got to live out his life and raise 2 daughters who are probably my age, if not older, is because he handed over this information to governments.
Well, he was already related to the Roth Shields. I'll just say Shields. Just saying.
Roth kids. Yeah, there we go. Roth kids. Well, and as I went into some more study about why were they particularly picking on penguins, because evidently they killed about 250,000 of them. This ain't like they killed 6 penguins. This is 250,000 penguins.
Oh, that broke my heart right now.
Yeah, we not talking about 12. We talking about 250,000 penguins that were probably killed. Well, and the trick is, evidently, the colder it is, the better your pineal gland works.
Interesting.
That cold is the key to activation. And part of the study that I come across was talking about the Christus, the oil that runs up your spine on your 33 vertebrae in a 28-day cycle. And when it gets to the very top, if your body is detoxed, then it's just right that you'll have like this blooming opening happen. And of course, there's meditation and fasting and detoxing and all of that goes in to get rid of all the crap that they've been feeding us since 1937 to keep us dumbed down. Because as long as they keep us dumbed down and we can't access that, then they can take that other black crap and spray it in the sky and use the radio tower to control us. They're flipping our natural switch off so they can install their side switch and control, if that makes sense. That's how I see it in my brain anyway.
I think this is part of God's seal upon your forehead to those who are sealed with God. You know what I'm saying? Because we've talked a lot over the years, all of us content creators, on this subject matter about the mark of the beast and all of these things and what that could mean. And if God's seal is upon your forehead, it is a protection of your mind, of that part of your soul, and it being hijacked by the evil that's just inundated in our everyday world, our air, our food, everything. It's like in everything. Even if you don't get a sticky pokey thing, they're gonna still try to put all these elements in just about everything. I mean, my God, they're talking about, or they've already approved these sticky pokey things in your food, like tomatoes and produce. You know what I mean?
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. So the seal of God, I think, plays a big part in protecting that part of you. And maybe that's another rabbit hole I should go down, is really understanding what the seal of God is and what that means, and understanding that, because that put a lot of focus on the other, might as well go for the right part.
And if anybody don't know, from the time Shannon and I wake up, and sometimes in the middle of the night when we wake back up again, we are still down a rabbit hole. It is like this absolutely obsessive knowledge to put the puzzle together, to see the whole puzzle put together. And another thing I want to remind everybody out there who's doing research, and this is something I come across today on one of the places I go to a lot. Off Web Archive. The internet is now the Encyclopedia Britannica. It is now your history book. Nobody's going to the library to pick up a paper book anymore. This is where future generations are going to come for information. This stuff can be changed or altered at the drop of a hat. You can't believe half of what you see anymore. So these things that we are finding before they get erased or the strings get unattached, the puzzle pieces get shuffled again, we need to make some paper copies, backup hard drives that aren't connected to the internet and can't be wiped with the flip of a switch. Just a reminder, even if it's just for your kids. And I looked at my daughter today and I said, listen, I understand when I was your age and, my mama was her age, I weren't going to listen to a dang thing she said because I thought she was just trying to tell me how to live my life or tell me what to do or she'd done it before and she could do it better. I said, but I'm going to write some stuff down. I said, and every couple of years, I want you to go read it. I said, and once it starts making sense to you, maybe you'll figure out you growed up. Because going and Googling it 10 years from now, they can flip that at the switch of a hat and erase half of all history. I mean, we see what they done to us in public school.
Yeah. Ice. Ice? I accidentally said ice. Oh,
Ice,
wow.
ice, baby.
Oh, jeez. That's one of the rabbit holes I'm down with, the ritualistic ICE.
Well,
title.
see, that's where that pattern had taken me this morning because I've seen so much of that snow that has fallen in this storm that's come through, and that they can't melt this stuff with blowtorches.
Yep. The last several years, people are finding more and more that this quote unquote snow is not what we all grew up with and know as snow.
Well, I watched somebody earlier. He's one of the drag racers. He's a guy, he builds cars and whatever, but like the snow that was on top of his building where he stores all of his cars at, it was nothing unusual for that shop to hold snow on top of it. He said this is probably half of the weight that's been on it before, and it collapsed the whole roof. He said, but if you take a little bit of that snow, put it in a bowl and put the bowl on the scales, he said the snow's heavier than normal snow.
See, that makes so much sense because, like I had said, several years ago, we had Snowmageddon up here in Crestline, and we're talking for the first time ever. It's not like they haven't had a snowstorm like this like 20 years prior, but for the first time ever, all of these roofs collapsed and these massive, really good, well-built buildings. I mean, entire roofs.
Yeah. And it's been crazy, some of the things I've seen. I've seen some people walking through it, and it literally looked like styrofoam pellets. I saw one guy take a torch that you actually cut metal with, oxygen acetylene torch. I mean, I've seen Willie take and cut steel with that. Dude, man, couldn't melt snow with it. Like, it would cut a human finger off. It would melt your finger off if it crossed it. Dude couldn't melt snow. I mean, he could, but he had to sit there and hold it. You'd have thought he was trying to cut steel with it.
See, now, what is this doing to all the wildlife who is stuck out in the elements, just living in the snow? You know what I mean? Like, and in the cycle of life, one thing eats another. This is just crazy.
Well, see, this pattern that I went down this morning when I was looking to see because, it gives you this 27 alphabetical lettered chemical name of what they mix it with. It boils down to aerogel. But they mix this stuff with this aerogel and they freeze it, and it's like dissolvable in water and blah, blah, blah. It went through the whole chemical process. They're mixing that with multiple things. Yeah, the black soot snow. I see that, Miss K. I've seen some of those. My question is, this stuff eventually has to melt, dissipate, disappear. Is it like one of these things because you can't burn it? It's not melting. I've seen some people put it up under a microscope, and I don't even think I'd want to touch it, much less make ice cream with it. Because, like, I've seen some of them, like a girl took some, melted it in a petri dish, put it on a slide, and there was millions of parasites in it and bacteria.
Interesting you made that comment about ice cream, because even ice cream lately has not been melting.
Yeah, ice cream doesn't melt.
So it's like,
If
exactly,
you don't believe
where does
food
it
is
go?
fake, go get you a box of ice cream sandwiches or Nutty Buddies or any of that stuff. Take one of them, take it outside, and just unwrap it and lay the ice cream sandwich in your yard. I'll guarantee you the bugs won't even come eat it. It won't melt. It'll still be there. It'll be just as preserved as a cheeseburger from the Golden Arches or chicken nuggets. It ain't going nowhere. Like, you can't take hot water and get it to melt down the sink. Take some of this light bread you got, take a piece of it up under the kitchen sink, wet it, squeeze it with your hand, and let it expand, and it's just like a sponge.
It's gross.
It is gross. And I actually eat 2 slices of it earlier because I was hungry.
I know. Like I said, we've mentioned so many times before, we are not perfect, and we eat some of this stuff. We all are guilty of this, whether we know it or not. And no matter how much organic you try to get, or trust me, I mean, gosh, I have put our poor family in the hole before, just trying to get nothing but organic and natural raw foods and all kinds of stuff, just because I was so paranoid about all this stuff, and it gets so expensive and so intense and just hard to find, and you
Well, girl,
like, oh my gosh.
I have found the best diet plan ever. Ever. If
Don't
there's
tell me
any
potato-tarian.
Oh, no, girl, I have to tell you, I found me a potato pizza. But anyway, if you ever want to get off of junk food, whatever your weakness is, just go look at how it's made. Because there was this whole channel of like how it's made. I can geek out on that all night
I
long.
love that. I loved that
If
show.
I got to turn the TV on and just like blur out and hope I fall asleep, we watching one of two things. Golden Girls. As y'all know, if you
Yeah.
texted me, you gonna see some Blanche. Ain't no telling. You might see some Sophia, but you gonna see some Golden Girls because I love them ladies.
Sophia and Rose.
And it makes me really sad now when I look back and I realize that Blanche was younger than I am at the moment when they made that show. But anyway, I get heartbroken when I think about that. Anyway, or I'm gonna watch how it's made, and I have an affinity for Lance toast cheese crackers. That was like one of my last things I could eat. If I got the munchies instead of eating something, I'll just grab a pack of crackers. No, ma'am. I know how they're made now. If I never eat another toast cheese cracker, it'll be too soon. So, it's the best diet plan in the world. Any junk food or food that you think you really, really like, go look at how it's made. But no, just FYI, on my Friday night when I get to eat some poison in a box, Tombstone makes this pizza, and the crust is made out of potatoes, and it's just cheese and bacon on top of French fries.
It's even called Tombstone, girl.
Ain't it? That's my poison in a box night. That's cheat night.
Right?
You get to eat some poison that night.
Oh, that's okay. I've mentioned before I have an addiction to sugar-free Red Bull that I desperately need to get away from. And also, some nerds, I have a problem with that. It's a childhood addiction. So, one
Oh,
step at a time.
Oh, yeah, Biggie. I cooked some hamburger meat the other night, which looked like good hamburger meat to me. I got the really good one, paid for the higher dollar one because I was making my baby's spaghetti. And as it started cooking, it just turned my stomach. I couldn't. And then when I got it cooked, I couldn't eat it. And they were like, "Oh, Nanny, it's so good." But I don't know. It's just like I can drive by the Golden Arches now and I'm like, ugh, ugh. I mean,
Yeah.
it happens. I can't. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't unknow it.
I am so lucky with the McGolden.
Yeah, be easy there,
because
Mouthy.
sorry. It's
Sorry
so
there, Glitter
hard.
Care
It's
Bear.
so hard. But that was one of those things, like growing up in the 80s, and my mom being a hairdresser, always on the go, all these things. I had a lot of fast food, and that was one of those places that was a often go to growing up. And when I was 15 years old, there were these leaflets that were being passed around school, and I picked one up, and it was all about how much they suck, basically. And I was like, oh, well, no. And then I literally have never touched it since I was 15 years old. I have, except for maybe a coffee on, desperate moments driving back and forth when my father was dying at like 3 a.m, but I haven't touched it since. And I've been like, all of these years, I keep finding more and more reasons. Oh, so many reasons to why I am so thankful I got that leaflet. I'm not going to say how many years ago that was now, but we'll just say it was long enough for me to just have a great detox from that place.
Cash, that is a fantastic point. Doritos used to have a warning on their label that said they would cause anal leaking.
Oh my gosh.
And just FYI, if your power goes out and you need a candle, just pour your Doritos in a metal tin and light them up and they'll burn for hours.
See, I do like them once in a blue moon.
Oh, I do too.
But I don't eat them very often. But again, it's like,
but that is the thing. The worse the poison, the better it tastes.
I know, I hate it. I hate it.
Well, I mean, you've never seen a crackhead that said while he was doing crack that he was worried about that it was poison, right? It's the same thing.
It's everywhere. It's everything. Again, you breathe in the air and it's toxic.
Well, a lot of people don't understand how I talk to you guys is how I talk to my grandchildren. I don't cut no slack. I mean, we're not going to cut no. And here she comes now, bopping in the room to look at me and see what we're doing.
No, it's bedtime.
Good night, baby. We were in the Dollar General earlier, and she had her chore money, and she wanted to spend it. And her mama told her she was not buying fake fingernails and super glue because they were ruining her nail bed, and it wasn't healthy. Right. And she got mad. She was crying. She's like, well, it's my money. Why can't I spend it where I want to spend it? I said, well, if you want to spend it on crack, I wouldn't let you spend it on that neither. So you're not getting no fake nails. Some lady down the aisle looked at me like she was just in shock. I think her name, she might have been president of her homeowners association or something.
Okay.
And she had short bob hair. But she was so offended that I told Addie, well, I don't care if it's your money. I wouldn't let you buy crack with it neither. Mind your business there, HOA lady.
Right? I mean,
don't make me get a felony at the Dollar General because you can't mind your own business. Just saying. She didn't get any fake nails, though.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, Frito corn chips do burn better. There's I've seen that, Big E. Oh, and back in the day, not that I have any personal knowledge of this, but I have heard second-hand stories, just saying, for clarity and legal purposes. Everybody hear that? I do not have first-hand knowledge of this, but I heard that back in the day, if you had possibly had a vehicle, and some people were trying to get rid of that vehicle, that they would pour potato chips in it and light the potato chips on fire.
Now that's the serious ghetto way to go about it. But okay.
Well, if it gets repoed, it's going against your credit. If it catches on fire, the insurance is going to pay it off. Like I said, secondhand knowledge. Just clearing that up.
Nowadays, they'd be like, we've noticed there's chip residue.
Oh, no. This day and time with the flock cameras and GPS on your phone, there's probably some type of 360-degree camera on this thing that watched you do it this day and time.
Exactly. They're like, we have some footage. We have proof you did this.
Oh, Biggie, this is a good point I wanted to bring up. Has anybody noticed? Around here, most of the convenience stores have been bought up with, people from foreign countries or immigrants, maybe legal or illegal. I don't know. But most of them have the last name Patel. And they bought up all the gas stations. There's no prices on the products, no prices on the shelf, and you don't see a total at the register. He just tells you it's $21.47. and you just zoom on out of there. And I noticed the other night because like the babies were in there and they had their money, and they're like, Nanny, how much is this? How much is that? There's not a single price on the shelf in any of those gas stations. So when you get a candy bar, you don't know if you're paying 79 cents or $4.79. Because Big E was bringing up the point about Dollar Tree is no longer $1; it's up to $1.75.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some very interesting things on how it's become quite the ripoff now.
Yes, Big E, you are correct. This is for entertainment purposes only. There was no truth. It was a suggested side story of some secondhand knowledge. We'll leave it at that. No, I don't have,
Or
honestly.
they could be like the Wally World Mart
And just
and
saying.
just
Yeah.
have a queue
Well,
instead of showing a price at all.
well, that tater chip story that was secondhand knowledge was more than 7 years ago, and the person who told it to me is dead. So, just saying. She's
Oh,
dead.
that's sad. And then I laugh. I mean, I'm so sorry. I'm
But see,
so
she would
sorry to hear
have
about
got a chuckle out of me telling this story.
Okay.
Because she really did not like that Thunderbird she owned. Just saying.
Oh, may her soul rest in peace.
Got to work one day and I'm like, girl, where's your car at? She said, it burnt slap up. Like a year later, I'm like, do what? She said, yeah, girl, a couple of bags of Frito-Lays and a dirt road. I'm like, oh my God. This is what you get when you work with people in fast food. But she's dead and it's been 15 years. So there, it's all said now. Let's see. Sand peoples, but I don't do convenience stores. Have you ever noticed how many cameras they have in them? There's one at the farm, and it's like this small store, not a big size store. I think they got 2 gas pumps at the whole store. I bet you there's 20 cameras inside of it. Like, you can't blink in there without facial ID. The new digital price tags is very bad news in Walmart. Oh, yeah. And if you buy meat at the Wally Mart, which I would not suggest doing that, but I'm just saying.
Don't even. Oh, no.
Anything that is sold by weight, check the actual weight of that item before you pay for it. Because I seen a guy the other day, you can get like the ham shanks or portions or whatever in there, like 4 or 5 pounds of it. It was saying that it was 4 and 5 pounds of this ham that was vacuum sealed. When you took it to the produce scale, it showed you it was 1.8, 2.1. When they were charging you $24 for it, and it should have been like $13 for it. Yeah, you got everybody's trying to shank you.
Oh, everybody.
Everybody's shaving the corners off the coins these days. Imagine that.
Nothing new under the sun. Yes.
Never ever. Never ever. Any other rabbit holes you got, Shannon?
I have some upcoming stuff that I'm gonna, talk about probably on the show on Thursday. I kind of needed to do a little more research and buffing out some details so it's more visible, but I really, like, with the help of Clayton and the subject matter we've all been discussing together on the Supernatural show and things along those lines, there's just been a lot of major mind-blowing puzzle pieces that I've discovered lately with all the help of my friends.
Have you spoken to Ryan in the past day or two?
A little tiny bit, but not enough to get.
Okay.
But I'm hoping soon. But
well, I was kind of MIA all weekend because we were doing some things in the greenhouse and just kind of trying to take a tech break. Because I know, guys, that some of y'all don't realize it, but Shannon and I, like I said, have spent quite a few hours on the phone, and we've probably got a combined total of about 14 people that we text with all day, every day. So sometimes our phone, see, there's my phone right now to ding. And he did it too. He got you too. He's over there, nothing new under the sun. See, we got,
yeah,
he's over here. We got a friend over here on the side, and he's over here, like, as we're talking, he's putting his 2.5 cents in over here. Nothing new under the sun but his riding partners. That's right. I'm just call me Care Bear with a switchblade. I'm proud of it. I don't care. Listen, I'm a little country and I'm a little hood. I'm Contretto. A little ghetto, little country. I'm Contretto. They do the same thing with Oz.
But you were mentioning though about how many people we talk to on a regular basis, and where were you going with that?
Oh, I was just, if you ever text us and we don't get back to you immediately, or you post on one of the community boards and it takes us a little bit to get back to you, we see it or we haven't forgotten it, but we just got like 20 people that we communicate with on the regular, and we still got husbands and kids. There's Ryan. There's Rai.
Hi.
There's one of our number one cheerleaders, folks. He just joined the chat. That's Ryan. Ryan is he's one of our assistants for the show now, because as he listens to the show, if he hears me or Shannon hit words that will trigger the lexicon that we have made a boo-boo, he writes it down so I can go back and put a beep over it.
And he and I are going to be working on some cool music coming up, guys, which I'm really excited about. So look forward to that in this next coming year.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. The team's growing. We're getting bigger. In that midst of our team getting bigger, there are some of you which have been with us for a while. A lot of you which are here every time, regardless, that we don't get to communicate with on the regular. So how am I triggering you, Ryan?
And I think that was in a good way, maybe. I hope.
I'm going to trigger you, boy. Don't make me send you one of my Golden Girl memes. Keep on flapping your jaw there, cutie. Anyway, we're going to do kind of like a meet and greet. We're going to invite a couple of people at a time. We're going to start maybe trying to do this on a regular. We're thinking about Wednesday evenings. If you're interested in being a part of it, it will not be on air. It will be off air. We'll be in studio just like this, and your little icon will be just like ours. You don't have to turn camera on, but we can just sit around. I know you joking. You just distracted me. You like my little sparkly squirrel over there. But he's like my ADD
James
doll.
Dean Sparkly Squirrel.
Ain't he?
Let's get that right.
He is a pretty squirrel. You is pretty, Ryan. I ain't even gonna lie. I gotta stop or get in trouble here. But anyway, we're gonna do a meet and greet. And try to do it a time or two a month. Get a few people in so we can just sit around and have a conversation. And if it's nothing but just, hey, how you doing? Or if there's a subject you want to talk about, I know I got some of those fancy things that we can put up on the screen, I think, with our email addresses on them. And if you don't subscribe already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit thumbs up, because it matters. We can't make a dime off of any of this that we're doing until we reach 500 subscribers. I'm at like 20 something, and Shannon, see, there's the third one popping in.
Yep.
Now Clayton's on the way.
Which, by the way, Clayton, we will finish our interview talk. I just need to recover. I just so you all know, I have been trying to work a little bit this week, which has been a little rough. So I'm not in my actual studio today. I'm, back on my tablet. Might be a little like that on and off this week, but I'm trying to function, trying to get back in the game here. So prayers, guys. That'd be great.
Absolutely. All the prayers you can get. I'm a Ken doll. God turned me, Pinocchio, into a real boy when I accepted him. Boy, you killing me. You triggering my ADHD. I love you, Ryan. Anyway, my email is in the comments. roxysnewlife@gmail.com. If you're interested in being in the private meet and greet, shoot me an email with your information. And we'll try to line it up. And, we're just going to do 2 or 3 of us in studio 30 minutes or an hour, just, sit around, shoot the breeze, have a personal conversation, and not have to worry about what lexicon words we have spoken. If there's a subject you want to discuss, we love putting puzzle pieces together with others. This is called crowd research. And this is what we want to do because not all of us go down the same rabbit holes all the time. All of these rabbit holes are important. They all connect back to each other. So the more we work as a collective group, the more we raise our frequency and our vibration together, the better the world will become. We pray together, we stay together, we're a family. So that's enough of my soapbox on
I
that
like
one.
your soapbox. It's a pretty lovely, sparkly soapbox.
And I got a switchblade in my pocket. Try me.
Switchblade in my pocket.
See, now I'm gonna have to go to AI and get it to design me a Care Bear that has like a switchblade and a leather vest on, but it's like sparkly purple.
Oh man. I think I was already the sunshine bear anyways. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty
See,
fitting.
I never figured myself for like a Care Bear. For a long time, I just kind of thought of myself as the bride of Chucky. Like,
Oh man, how funny is that? Because I mean, look, we all grew up with the programming in the films, and I mean, I probably watched The Wizard of Oz 50 million times growing up, and I was obsessed with wanting to be Glenda the Good Witch, which, by the way, I find out later there's programming in there for that specifically. If you guys are ever curious to look that one up, but I wanted to be the nicest person in the world. I thought that's what she was, just so pretty and kind and sweet and loving to me that I just wanted to be like the nicest person in the whole world. So this was like what I was thinking.
I ain't never wanted to be the nicest. And like I tell you, I believe everybody should have the day that they deserve. And Miss K, you're invited. We'll get you in. You let me know because yes, I want to talk with you. But I just believe everybody should get the day that they deserve. If you're a good person, you get a good day. If you're a crappy person, I hope you step in dog crap. I mean, that's just the way the world should work. You get what you sow. Bride of Chucky, what's the cheese and rice? You're the nicest person in the world. I might be the nicest person in the world now, Ryan, but there was a time in my life when I was not. Like, okay, there was a period in my life where I was the girl at the bar that was always in a fight in the corner. Like, I was just ready to fight. I didn't care if it was, a 4'8" woman or a 7-foot man. If I had to kick you in the shin, you want to fight, let's fight. I had a lot of anger issues.
I
But
always was, I talked my way out of every single fight anyone ever tried to.
oh no, girl, I used to love to throw a punch. I'd fight grown dudes. There was a lot of anger built up in me over a 25 years hostage situation I felt like I'd been in. There was a lot of anger when I got divorced. Like, there would be a fight break out at the bar between women. I would love to go break up the fight just so I could swing. Like, let go. And they wouldn't let go. I'm like, I told you the second time, let go. Wouldn't let go. So I just decked one of them. Now you let go.
See, I mean, I get it. I got into Shanai fighting, which is like, I don't know if you know what kendo sticks are, but I
No.
actually went into some tournaments and won like the very first one I ever entered. But it's like sword fighting, and I that's where all that pent up stuff went. I'm still good at it. Even this lady with the cane, don't front.
Well, listen.
Get a sword in my hand. It's
If
over.
y'all see Roxy in public and Roxy is anything more than a fast walk, you should speed up too because something's chasing me. I'm not running for nothing. Like, no. I've never been one that would run. I tended to be one that was, which I was raised by my dad. My dad was a mechanic, and I love my dad, but my dad could drink, 2.5 gallons of VO a week if he wanted to. And it was a rough and tumble crowd, and we were mechanics and had race cars. And I think he gave me my first car when I was like 12 years old. He gave me a CJ7 Jeep. It was a 5-speed. He's like, here, you crank it, you pull the stick. It didn't even have a key. Like, figure out how to drive it. And me and my sister, like 12 years old, and we're just all through the neighborhood with this military Jeep. Nobody ever questioned us. Nobody ever stopped us. Like, when I was 16 years old, the first car I bought myself was like way too dangerous for a 16-year-old to have. It was a 1981 Z28 with a V8 in it. I had 4 speakers in the back. I didn't even have a back seat. I had this wood piece of plywood, and I had 4 10-inch speakers and 2 amps. And I had air shocks. I mean, I was ready to race. That's why my daddy took that car from me, because he called me street racing with it. I was not your normal girl.
See, this is why my mother was very protective of me with that. And even though my dad got me a car at like 15, my mom would not let me get my license until I was 18. And I still actually had to do that kind of behind her back. So, it was.
Well, see, dating was never the easiest thing for me. Ryan said something about dating. Most dudes don't like to date women that can change their own tires or their oil or their spark plugs or fix their plumbing, because most men have been told that independent women are just, oh, what in the world? I just got a text message. How in the world did that happen? I wasn't watching. Anyway, I'll talk to you in a minute about that, Diana. But most dudes just aren't cool with women that were that independent, especially when I was a teenager. And especially one that if you like raised your voice at me, I'd raise mine back. So sometimes it didn't work too well. But we're going to try to put together a...
I've been that way with work too, and a lot of that stuff. I get you. I get you on that. Yep. It's hard when you make more money too sometimes, but
yeah, that never made things easier either. But that's life. But if you're interested in the private meet and greet thing we're gonna do, shoot me an email. We're gonna make a list. We're gonna try to work on it and maybe start that in the next week or so. Maybe sooner rather than later. But just let us know. And anything else, Shannon?
I think just one more thing I wanted to bring up. I haven't received anybody contacting me about the giveaway, which is no big deal because I happen to have chosen 2 amazing people who are going to be getting 2 of those books. And then the start of next month, I think Roxy and I are going to be putting together some kind of really cool, fun puzzle or something to solve. And the first person to send in the correct answer will get one of the last remaining book and another extra little gift on top. Roxy found these really cool tinfoil hats that are in my favorite kind of style of hat. Beanie doesn't look tinfoilish, it's all on the inside, and so we're gonna add that on to the pot. So be on the lookout for these little puzzles that we're gonna do. I think we might try and continue that because Roxy came up with this idea and I think it's cool.
Yeah, we're gonna start having puzzles for prizes. Miss Kay, make sure you email me, honey, and we'll set up a private meet and greet because I'd love to talk to you too. I'd love to talk to all of you personally if we have time. And like I said, we'll try to get a few in, together at a time and have a meet and greet. We'll try to make it work. But share our show, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button on the way out, share it with a friend. Make sure you're prayed up, and make sure you're nice to somebody tomorrow. When you get up tomorrow, when you first open your eyes, put yourself in a position of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest frequencies you can put your mind and your body in. Be thankful that the good Lord woke you up today. Be thankful that you are blessed, you are healthy, you are happy, you have people who love you, a community on here among us that we can lean on each other. Nobody is alone. There's always somebody in a message board to reach out to. If it's just a day where you need a hey, a hello, I love you, let's all try to be there for each other. Be there for your neighbor. Be there for a stranger. Share a smile, because smiles multiply. Love multiplies. Just like the big man upstairs said, go forth and multiply. That's not only with children, that's in kindness and in love. You got any closing words, Shannon?
I love you all, and I really hope that you guys take some time to pray, not just for yourselves, but your loved ones today. And, just keep an eye out on your everyday. Things are changing so rapidly. And, sometimes, as we know, it's hard to keep up with just everything as all this information is swelling more and more and on a rapid downward spiral. But just keep focused on God. And the other night I was deep in prayer, and again I just really heard in my spirit, keep your eyes focused on me, because if you take your eyes off me for 1 second, you're going to drown. And I'm taking that very seriously, and I feel it's important to share that message with all of you, because we're coming to a point in time where more and more things are merging together, and it's just going to get harder and harder to keep focused. So just know where you want to keep your eyes.
Yeah, don't let the things you see on mainstream distract you from what's really going on. Bring yourself closer to God, bring yourself closer to each other, and stay in a vibrational frequency of love and gratitude, and the world will be a lot better place when we all do that together. I thought about this thing today that maybe we should all figure out a time, because we understand that a collective conscious of all of us steering in the same positive direction can change the Schumann resonance of the whole earth. So if we were to all set an alarm on our clock at the same time, and we all program ourselves to put ourselves in a place of gratitude at 8 p.m. every night. You know what I'm saying? Like when that alarm goes off on your phone at 8 o'clock, just stop what you're doing and go into prayer of how grateful you are that you were awake today. So maybe we need to pick out a time that we can all do that together. I think that would be nice.
It would be nice. And we can, of course, do a couple of times throughout the day, knowing, of course, we're all on different time schedules. But, then we got it flowing in a nice
Yeah, or maybe we could do it like
wave.
every 3 hours.
Right?
Right. Let's do it like every 3 hours.
Every 3 hours. That sounds great.
So what we got? 8, 11, 12, 1, 2, and then 5, and then 8. Yeah. Set your alarms, guys. Starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, every 3 hours. Just set it as a reminder on there. When that reminder goes off, just take 1 minute of silent prayer of how grateful you are that you woke up today, and all the wonderful things and all the wonderful people in your life that you have to be thankful for. Let's see how we can change the world together.
And again, all glory to the Most High.
Absolutely. Sorry, I had a text message coming in on my phone. There's 27 of them going off, and I'm trying to read chat, but all right, guys, we're going to get out of here for tonight. Daniel should have a show tomorrow. Yeah, like a prayer call every 3 hours. We'll start at 8 o'clock in the morning, and every 3 hours, just set a reminder on your phone. Just a silent reminder, and when you see it, be grateful. 1 minute, positive prayer of gratefulness. But Daniel will be on tomorrow with Logic Before Authority for his solo show. Thursday night, we will be back with Children of the Most High for another episode of Giggles and Switchblades. And well, that's what we are. Giggles and switchblades.
It just sounds like a song I would have totally danced to at the goth clubs back in the day.
Ain't it? Giggles and switchblades.
Yeah.
We fart sparkles. Anyway. We'll be back Thursday night with some more of this chaos. And then we'll be back on Friday with the Supernatural show. Thursday night is our West Coast time. 6:30 West Coast, 9:30 East Coast. Friday on the Supernatural show. But we'll be back posting the message board. I'm also looking for movies that we should go back and rewatch since we've awakened. iRobot was brought up today, so I think I'm gonna go back and watch that one too.
I am gonna rewatch Greenland too, and there was some other ones that I have on my list too. So we should connect on those on the weekend.
Yeah, we should. All right, guys. We'll see you again Thursday night. And here's our new video of our affiliates on the Supernatural Network. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.